Welcome back everyone. Today we'll be discussing the Off-White and Nike, the 50 Dunk Collection. Specifically, we will be discussing some release info, how to cop, and of course, some resale predictions at the end of the video. All 50 of the upcoming Off-White Dunk, the 50 collection, will be releasing on August 9th. However, unlike normal releases, not all of them will be releasing on that same date. In fact, they will be spread out over the course of multiple days following August 9th. You might also be wondering, why am I making this video so far out from the release? The reason for that lies in the how to cop section. In order to have a good chance of copying these, you're actually going to have to get to work right now as soon as possible. And regarding what work is required, I will elaborate on that shortly, do not worry. Retail is $150 on each of these. I do not have stock yet, as it is pretty far out from the release, but I will have it as usual as we do get closer to the release for each of these models. Now, regarding the resale, we will cover that towards the end of the video as always. And I don't normally do this, but I did want to share my personal notions about these sneakers, or rather should I say my frustration. Nike clearly stated in their article that the reason behind this release was for marketing purposes, and with that I think brought them an incredible opportunity for passionate sneaker collectors and resellers alike. As far as the actual execution goes though, disappointment is an understatement. Evidently, nearly every single model aside from two of them nearly look identical, as if Virgil just simply hit Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V on every single model. But Keith, you don't understand, Art. This is the embodiment of Virgil's minimalistic mindset. Well, perhaps so, but it appears it's more laziness or perhaps lack of funding on Nike's end rather than minimalism to me. I mean, come on, it's not 5 or 10 of these, it's f***ing 50. With the release info out of the way though, and my meaningless vent, let's jump right into how to cop these. The way these dunks will be released, as Nike stated themselves, will be through exclusive access on Nike sneakers. There should also be some boutiques getting these from what I've heard, which we will discuss later as well. First of all though, let's discuss how to increase the probability of your accounts receiving the exclusive access and how to go about that. Now, if you guys do recall, back when I made the key to copying on Nike sneakers video, I discussed how to increase your chances of winning Leo and draw jobs as well as receiving exclusive access. A minority of you guys did not initially believe my theories, but now Nike is essentially confirming my theories themselves. So there you have it right in their own article. Directly from Nike's own article, they stated there are 50 plus variables that may be used to determine which members are awarded exclusive access for a given product. These variables span prior launch entries on sneakers, content engagement, poll responses, as well as a number of other factors. While the variables are combined in different ways for each exclusive access, the goal is still always to reward the most deserving members. Now with that said, let me show you a brief clip from my video that I was referring to further illustrate what Nike actually wants you to do. Whether you're botting or going manual, it is extremely important that you maintain high account activity. There are quite a few ways you can generate activity without purchasing items, essentially just by emulating human behavior. The most simple ways to execute this would be through the following: liking posts, clicking the share option, watching the street sneakers videos or live streams, and simply going for more drops in general. Taking L's actually increases your chances of copying, along with receiving exclusive access as well. As of now, we don't know for sure if there is a scale for the activity with a probability ratio, so I don't believe that you need to go overboard with this. You don't need to be generating activity for hours at a time every single day, but rather just logging into your accounts every once in a while before a drop is coming up, and that should suffice. So many people with brand new accounts will find that they're not hitting right away, but as time progresses, that's when they end up beginning to see the increased amount of success. As you can see, now you know why I mentioned the importance of engagement on the Nike sneakers app, liking posts, sharing, viewing stories, and even how taking L's literally helps you cop. Just as Nike said themselves, prior launch entries on sneakers. Regarding when you should start generating this activity, I would suggest right now, as this will not only help you with the dunk drops obviously, but multiple other drops as well of course. If there's any content that you should prioritize engaging with, it would have to be any content regarding either dunks or Off-White. They already did some live streams with Virgil in the past, and I'm sure they are going to be doing more. So if you do happen to see one pop up, if you see a notification go off from sneakers, make sure you do tune in with as many accounts and devices as possible. I'm sure there will be some more Nike sneaker stories as well for Off-White or even dunks, so so be sure that you watch those as well. It is ideal to try to maintain multiple different accounts with high activity. Obviously, that just has to do with the simple law of probability, because even with immense engagement on one account, there are still more people out there with equal or higher engagement than you have in comparison to how much total stock there is. To make more accounts, remember that Nike does require SMS verification. You cannot use the same phone number twice, so you will have to ask a friend of yours to use their phone number and ask them for the verification code, as I always go over in my videos. However, if you rather not bother your friends, or you just want a significant amount of pre-verified Nike sneakers accounts in general, feel free to check out my site TARS. The link for that is in the description below for pre-verified Nike sneakers and Adidas accounts. Now that's all there really is to be said for sneakers. You essentially just need to farm your Nike sneakers accounts if you want a good chance at copying these dunks, and there's obviously going to be a lot of opportunities. There's 50 of these, and this extends beyond the dunks alone. Of course, this has to do with any other exclusive access in the future that farming your accounts is going to help for, so I highly suggest you get started with this as soon as possible. It's essentially the equivalent to farming your Gmail accounts. For anyone who's watching this, if you happen to bot, you know how important it is to get those one-click Gmails, and in order to get those one-click Gmails, you need high activity on those accounts. That's why there's software out there literally just intended for farming these Gmail accounts, and the more Nike sneakers accounts you can farm and maintain, the higher your chance of copying will be. This is how you exploit the concept. Now, as for retailers though, outside of Nike sneakers, you won't have nearly as high of a chance of copying, unfortunately. I expect the vast majority of these to be all raffles, and for stock that is not backdoored from the retailers that do receive these, will probably be taken by raffle bots for the most part. On the other hand though, I do feel that there is a good chance that a few retailers will be dropping first come first serve. I expect Kith to be one of those, and I also expect Dover Street Market eFlash to be one as well. As for Europe only ones, I feel like there's a good chance that Soulbox and Mr. Porter may also be dropping. I will of course make an update as we do approach the drop to confirm these, and I definitely expect Off-White to drop these as well, and they will most likely use their new method of dropping, which they used on the Converse very recently, which is very similar to the Shopify new domain method. If you want a full in-depth explanation of that, be sure to watch my video regarding Off-White's new shock drop method, as they will likely be implementing it again in the future, whether it's on the dunks or even the upcoming Off-White Air Force 1 in yellow. But with the head of cop out of the way though, let's discuss the resale predictions. Although there are 48 of these that look near identical, at the end of the day, these are still not only a dunk, which is a highly demanded model in itself, but an Off-White dunk. Obviously, it's going to have immense demand, even though a lot of these do look extremely similar. Although I do not have the exact stock for each model yet, I would imagine that each of these colorways will not have nearly the same stock you normally see on the average Off-White variant. Therefore, although 48 of these do look extremely similar, near identical in fact, I believe this will still be balanced out by the lower stock per colorway. Felt like this was worth mentioning, since I do think that's the main concern when it comes to these, but really I don't think there should be any concern. It's an Off-White dunk at the end of the day. Therefore, as of now, I would still expect all of these to be very profitable with a great margin still, especially with a retail of only $150. Full throttle without a doubt. Anyway, that will conclude it for today. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or perhaps if you learned a thing or two. Subscribe and enable post notifications just so you stay 100% updated on all hyped releases. Also, feel free to check out the links in the description below for reliable, fast residential proxies and pre-verified Nike sneakers or Adidas accounts. Also, feel free to check out Endurance's Twitter for updates on restocks and key giveaways, which we'll likely be doing somewhat soon too. And the same goes for Gargantua if you want to keep up with the progress, or free beta key drops, which again, we'll be doing some more of those soon too. Last but not least, make sure to follow Keith Adam 10 and Personals for You. This way, you guys stay 100% updated on all the urgent info, such as some of these shock drops that we have been seeing recently. With that though, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
You always stop when you should be stopping. You see your shoe like a size 12 weapon. Get your foot off my foot.